for 10 minutes with Monique. We are in Littlestown for a visit to Gateau Monique. I'm Karen Hendricks with Celebrate Gettysburg magazine. Thanks so much for tuning in, and Monique, thanks so much for having us
Absolutely,
today.
I'm happy that you invited me to come and share a little bit about the bakery.
Oh, love it. Well, first things first, you were full of so many anecdotes and so many stories. You were a treasure trove of stories as I was interviewing you for this story that's in our current issue of Celebrate Gettysburg magazine. I just knew we had to come back and tap into and hear some more of those stories. So one of the stories that you told me was about the actual name of your business,
Right.
Gateau Monique, which if you're familiar with French, you might know that gâteau is commonly refers to a cake. But tell me, you have a really interesting story about how you acquired that name.
Yeah, so it is kind of funny, Karen, that years ago when I was in college and I was just trying to make extra money, I was making cakes on the side, I had no official business. I was just a college kid, and I'd gone to culinary school. I was making cakes for friends. The word started to spread that I was making cakes for people. I had strangers calling me and saying, "Oh, I want a Monique cake." And I thought, I don't know what a Monique cake is, but my name is Monique and I do bake cakes, and I'm happy to bake you a cake. So as the business started to grow and I was still in college, more and more people were calling me, strangers were calling, and it kind of sounded funny every time they would call and say, "Yeah, I'm looking for a Monique cake." And I thought, okay, we really need to give this a little bit more of an official name. I need to have a logo. How does this look in a little bit more of a business, an official business? So I took the Monique cake and just took basically the French version, which is Gateau Monique. And really, it's my translation of cakes that I make, cakes in my style, the way that my approach to whether it's just a strawberry shortcake or a really chocolatey cake. So really, it was people gave me the name, and then I took the name and made it official. So
I love that, and I love that it rhymes with unique cake,
Yes.
Monique cake.
Yes.
And I suppose in a way that's what people were saying. I want a cake that you make because it is so unique. It has that Monique stamp of approval on it.
Yes, and I always felt really very, very, special that people were calling me and strangers were passing my name and number along. I didn't even know these people; they weren't family or friends anymore. And I really thought this is really something. The cake is speaking for itself to people I don't know, so it meant a lot.
That's fantastic, and of course that has stuck as the name of your business, but of course you do so much more than cakes, but that's how you became founded and made a name for yourself, and maybe is still one of your hallmark kind of products, but you do so much more today.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I love how when people come into the bakery, they are full of stories, and personally I think it has a lot to do with coffee, and I mean some of the best conversations take place over a cup of coffee.
Yes.
And it sounds like, again, you're a treasure trove for these community stories. So tell us a few, Monique, that have happened through the years, or maybe even more recently with you moving locations into the former bank building here in Littlestown. What kinds of anecdotes and stories have stayed with you over the years that you can share with our viewers?
Right. I would definitely say it's very meaningful when people come back after buying a baked good, whether they've been here one time or 10 times, and share that, hey, I bought this box of baked goods, I took it to my job, I shared it with coworkers. It really brought people together. Everyone couldn't wait to get their favorite piece out of the box. I mean, hundreds of those stories. And then really special ones from nurses. I had a nurse who was taking care of an older gentleman. I think he was like 92. And I knew he and his wife personally, and his wife had passed away, and he wasn't doing really well, and he had a lot of AIDS. Well, his last days, he was asking for sticky buns. He loved them so much, and they would come and buy, a dozen at a time, and that was really special to feel like even in his last days and his last memories, he was still enjoying the sticky buns that I made, and that made me feel really like a part of his story, a part of, you know, he had missed his wife so much, and the sticky buns were bringing some sort of comfort, and that was really special. More recently, in the past week or so, I'd say I've had a brother and a sister, and they're pretty young. Their mom's in the hospital. She's not doing well. I believe they said it's a brain tumor, but they're here 3 days a week buying baked goods. They're taking it to the hospital, they're sharing it with one another, probably with some hospital staff, and it's just really nice to know that you are a part of their day, the good part of their day, the happy part of their day. You're bringing some sort of hope or something over a pastry. You know, that is them coming into the bakery, looking forward to the highlight, the really, you know, joyous part of the day, and not thinking about the sad times that might follow the next few hours. So that has been really special. And then that's been the most recent. We had a really sweet man at Christmas time. And everyone, you know, the holidays are special, but holidays can be sad, really sad for people. And he was buying a dozen Madeleines every time he came in. So we finally asked, like, where are you taking these Madeleines? You're not buying one or two, you're buying 12 at a time. He said, well, my wife is not doing well. She loves the Madeleines, so I really want her to enjoy something that she can eat and that is bringing a smile to her face. So we really loved him sharing that with us. And then he came back probably about a month ago and said, you know, I just want to let you know my wife passed away, but the Madeleines were really, really special to her. And I thought, wow, I mean, that like really hits you when people are sharing like people's last days, and you know, they're bringing something from the bakery to share with family, friends, nurses, hospice care workers. We've heard so many of those stories through the years, and it's really special. And then we have like the fun stories, the really uplifting, the sports teams who come and we donate cookies to them, and they're like, hey, you helped us raise money. You helped us raise money for a camp, or maybe to bring in like a special trainer or something. So we've had a ton of those through the years, and it's just fun. It's fun to hear everyone's story, whether it's really sad, but it's very touching, really happy, hey, you helped us reach a goal, and then everything in between. People just have a good day or a bad day, and they're celebrating over pastry. So it's really nice.
It's really beautiful because certainly you know why people are ordering birthday cakes or anniversary cakes or wedding cakes, but to reach beyond that and hear some of these additional stories really, it must be really redeeming.
It is.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that everyone who purchases, whether they're purchasing cakes or Madeleines or anything in between, I'm sure they wish they could ultimately bake like you.
I get that a lot. Oh, are you offering classes? When's the next class coming out?
Yeah, well, it's not a full-fledged class, but Monique is inviting us into her kitchen, oh my goodness, to show us a little technique. So come with us. We're going to learn a little bit, something that you can implement in your own kitchen, a little tip. So stay with us. We'll be right back in Monique's kitchen. Welcome back, and Monique, it looks like you're all prepared for us here. What tip do you have for our viewers today?
So I really wanted to share one of, I feel, the most basic tips, but I get the question a lot, what does the term cut in butter mean? Pie dough, pastry dough, scone dough, biscuit dough. So my little tip for cutting in butter is to actually use a box grater. I always chill the butter, and actually this is frozen, which works even better. So it's ultra chill. And then I have a little batch of flour and baking powder and baking soda and everything for biscuits. So I just want to show you, it's very simple to grate the chilled butter, and then we're going to add it right into the dough. And the nice thing about using this box grater, you have perfect size pieces for cutting in your butter. So there's no need for a knife, which the butter sticks to, or what size pieces. I get that question a lot. Oh, if it says cut in the butter in a pea size, what does a pea size of butter look like? So you're going to be really surprised to see how well this works. I've shared this tip, I bet, for 10 or 15 years with people, and I've had more people come back and comment how much they appreciated this tip and how much it helped them with making biscuits or scones or pie dough, that it's just amazing. And I thought, well, this should be a tip that every home cook should know, especially if you enjoy making pies or biscuits or scones or anything like that. So
because this is what is going to give you that delicate flavor,
exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. So sometimes it sticks a little bit inside the box grater, but you can just pull it right out, especially if it's frozen.
And look at that.
Perfect
Beautiful.
little pieces, tiny little curls of very chilled butter, and that's exactly what you want. So you can just scrape that in, and then once you have that in, you can just mix it right into your flour. So perfect. That is cutting in the butter in like less than 30 seconds.
That is such a simple yet
Yes.
I feel revolutionary tool.
Yes, yes, amazing. So then from there you have all your dry ingredients. You can add your wet. Make sure you have every one of your utensils ready, biscuit cutter, everything like that,
Yeah.
and you're perfectly good to go. And then I baked this batch earlier, and then you can see how nice and fluffy,
Right.
perfectly tender, beautiful rise,
Right.
and it was as simple as grating some cold butter.
I
So-
have to say, I think that's life changing.
It is, it is. So I hope people enjoy the tip. I hope everyone gets inspired to bake some biscuits, make some scones, make some beautiful flaky pie dough, because that tip it could change your life.
Yeah, yeah. Because look at how uniformly they came out, and it looks like they're flaky
Yes.
all the way through, which is what those tiny little pieces of butter are going. That's what it's going to do for your recipe.
Yeah, and you
Oh,
can
look at
see
that.
just how nice, perfect, no pockets of butter.
That's gorgeous.
It's like perfectly incorporated, and that's what happens when you do that. So that's my little tip for the day.
What a wonderful
Yes.
tip. Monique, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and to learn more about Gateau Monique, see our current, that's the May-June 2024 issue of Celebrate Gettysburg magazine. For Celebrate Gettysburg magazine, I'm Karen Hendricks. Thank you again.
Thank you.
That
Thank you.
is lovely.
Yes, yes.